Hi, I'm Uma Raj with Tech Help. Welcome to Excel functions in less than 15 minutes. In this tutorial, we learn about two functions, count and COUNTA. As the name implies, count calculates the number of items in a selected range or list. We will see in detail how these two functions work. In our first example of a table with student names and total grade, we just want to see how many entries are there in this total grade. So we want to use the count function here, equal to count, and the syntax of count is value, or this value can be a range or a list. So we are going to select the range here from C7 all the way to C24. Complete the function, enter, and we are seeing that there are 15. The count function brings 15, that is the number of entries in this list. And we just want to check this on the status bar. We are going to select this range again and look at the status bar. As you all know, that the status bar will give a quick review of count, sum, and average, and functions like that. So the count says 17 here, and it says its number of selected cells that contain data. So from the status bar, we know that there are 17 cells which has got data, and we will look at it a different way too. There is a name box in the worksheet which has got the address of the active cell. It can also show how many rows are selected in a range. So when we come here, we are going to select this range again and look at the name box, and the name box is saying 18 rows. That means there are 18 rows out of this in the selected range. So these numbers are all different. Why? Because name box is showing all the cells within that range, whether they contain any data or not. It includes everything: numbers, text, and blank cells. The status bar is actually showing everything in the cell except blank cells. So we come back to our count function. Count function will show only the numbers in a list. It doesn't show any text, it doesn't show any blank cells, and it doesn't show if it contains any true or false logical values. So the count function counts only numbers, and it also counts the dates. It also in the number group. So count will count only the numbers and dates in a list. And in the second example, we will compare this with some different data types. In this table, the first column contains country, they are all text. Product also text. The units are all numbers. The salesperson column is all empty, blank cells. Price is decimal value, but they are numbers. Dates sold are all numbers, dates. And yes or no column contains true or false values. So when we come here, we want to see the count function, count of each column. So in the country, equal to count B29 all the way to B24, and it says 0 because count function will not count any text. Same with product. It's C29 all the way to C54. It doesn't have anything other than text, so it's showing 0 because count will not count text. The unit column says 26 because there are 26 cells which has got numbers in this column. When it comes to the salesperson, it's all empty, and the count will not count any empty cells, so it's showing 0. And price 26 because they are all decimal values, but they are all numbers. And as I just said, it counts also dates. So the dates sold column, when it says count of all these numbers, it says 26. And the yes or no column, because it doesn't count the true or false value, the logical values, so it's saying 0. So that is what the count does. If you want to look at the numbers in a cell, you use count. And on the other hand, the COUNTA function counts everything in the selected range except empty cells. So we will just compare it with this first example here. In the total grade, we just saw that the count is bringing 15. When it comes here, equal to COUNTA, and we are selecting the whole range C17 all the way to C24, and it is saying 17 because it counts all the text value also, and the only thing it did not count is the blank cell here. So that's a difference between count and COUNTA. And there is one more count function called CountBlank. As a name implies, it counts all the blank cells in a range. So in this range, there is only one. So it says the same syntax, CountBlank, and the arguments is a range. So it says C7 all the way to C24, and it's 1. And we will also see the same example with COUNTA and CountBlank. So instead of count, we are doing the COUNTA for all these columns. So in the first one, when you say COUNTA, B29 all the way to B24, because they are all text, and COUNTA will count text, so it's bringing 26. Same with product, same with units, because COUNTA will count numbers also. The only thing it doesn't count is blank. That's why the salesperson column is bringing blank, because COUNTA all the way to E29 to E54 doesn't have anything in the cell. So it's bringing 0. Price, as you expect, 26. Dates, and COUNTA will count also the logical values. So it's saying 26. So just to compare it with CountBlank, so we are doing the same thing with CountBlank here. The country will bring 0 because there are no blanks in the country column. There are no blanks in the product column. There are no blanks in the units column, but there are 26 blanks in the salesperson column because we don't have any entries in the salesperson. And price, dates, and yes or no column also will bring 0 because they all don't have any blank cells. So that is the difference between these three functions: count, COUNTA, and CountBlank. We will see two more count function in the next video, which are COUNTIF and CountIFS, and we will see in detail what those two functions do. So in this video, we just looked at the three basic functions: count, COUNTA, and CountBlank. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up and subscribe. And in the meanwhile, play with Excel and practice, and thank you for watching.